Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. There's even a brand new Brigadier General tier where you can get a shout out on a Commander's Quarters episode that's dedicated to you. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So the day has finally come, and we most definitely knew that it was going to at some point. The Stranger Things mechanically unique card Secret Lair is here. Well, at least part of it, okay? There's only 2 cards that have been spoiled so far. I believe from what I've read, there's 8 cards in total, all of them mechanically unique, and the rest will be spoiled later this afternoon. Now, I didn't expect to be recording today, but here we are. And actually, I'm going to try to keep this episode pretty short because, to be completely honest, I'm pretty tired. Since I didn't think I'd be recording today, my buddies and I stayed up pretty late last night playing some Commander games, and yeah, we had an amazing time. And you very well might see one of those games on Close Quarters at some point, and yeah, I'm really excited about all of that. So, even though obviously I'm not very happy with the news today, which I knew was coming anyways at some point, that's not going to spoil my mood. So, in this episode, I'm not going to focus on complaining about mechanically unique cards and how they're a terrible thing when they're sold directly from WotC. You've heard my spiel on that before. Obviously, this is not the first of the kind of money-grabbing collaborations from Wizards with the, Walking Dead Secret Lair coming last year. So yeah, if you want to hear my in-depth opinion on mechanically unique Secret Lairs, just check out one of those episodes and yeah, you'll hear my opinion plenty. That being said, there is a slight step forward in the right direction for this Secret Lair, and I believe mechanically unique Secret Lairs going forward. In that, and my apologies if I'm misremembering this, it's been a while since the news came out, but basically, they're essentially going to be available as, actual Magic cards with Magic art and a Magic name in set boosters coming up in 6 months after the Secret Lair is released. So yeah, not perfect, but obviously better than nothing, and better than what we got in the Secret Lair of the Walking Dead. So if you don't want to support Wizards choosing to make mechanically unique cards that are sold directly from them, maybe don't buy the Secret Lair, but if you're still excited for the actual, cards themselves, maybe just wait for the actual Magic versions to come out and get those. So in other words, vote with your wallet or, just proxy these, whatever you want to do. Regardless, now that I've given you a high-level rundown of my thoughts on all of this, let's just jump into the Commanders and talk about what they do and what kind of a deck you'd want to build around them. So first up, let's talk about 11 the Mage, a 3/5 human wizard for 1 blue, black, red. She has your maximum hand size is 11 because, yeah, her name is 11 and she makes your max hand size 11, go figure. Whenever she attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Then if you have 11 or more cards in your hand, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. She also has Friends Forever because, yeah, that's a thing now. Okay, I know that's probably show specific, but still, come on, that's pretty lame. That name's probably going to actually change on the actual Magic cards. At least I hope it does. Regardless, Friends Forever means that you can have 2 commanders if both have Friends Forever. So in a way, this is kind of like somewhat in between partner and partner with. When it comes to partners, there's actually, around 60 or so you've got a lot of options with your combinations. But with partner with, 2 commanders actually just partner together and not with anything else. So a Friends Forever partner commander, which is never going to sound right, can partner with any other Friends Forever partner commander. But they can't partner with any of the partner with or the other partners, so yeah, it's its own little group. Which again, at this point, at the most, looks like it's going to be 8 cards. And again, we're not sure if those are all going to be legendary creatures or whatnot. But I would imagine it's going to be more than 2, and we'll get to the other Friends Forever card here in a minute. Regardless, first up, very notably, 11 the Mage is the very first 3-color, again, somewhat partner commander. So yeah, she gives you access to a lot of colors and a lot of powerful cards, and again, if there's a Friends Forever commander out there that ends up coming out that is Selesnya or Selesnya Plus, then you've got all 5 colors with partner commanders, which is the very first time that we've ever seen this. And again, my apologies if I say partner for shorthand. Friends Forever just still sounds weird. Regardless, 11 is pretty powerful as well, an attack trigger that lets you draw a card and lose 1 life, which again, 1 life for 1 card is not a big deal at all. Then if you've got 11 or more cards in your hand, which again, your maximum hand size is 11, so you're fine there, you can cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. And yeah, there are plenty of incredibly powerful and game-breaking instants and sorceries out there that you can now cast for free with this commander, and it might just take 1 attack to actually just win with this. In a way, 11 to me is kind of like a Narset commander in a way. You're not getting free cards off the top of your library, but you get to cast something for free from your hand as long as you meet the requirement. And again, 11 also provides card advantage while doing so. And keep in mind that this is on an attack trigger, so we're going to talk about ways to use and abuse this. Regardless, 11 can definitely pack a punch. And actually, one other slight problem that I've seen other people have online with these new commanders, and one that I actually think is pretty funny as well, is that for the most part, you really don't see too many humans out there that are quite large, and have good power and good toughness. And this little child is a 3/5. Now, when she attacks, your opponents are definitely not going to be all that scared of a 3/5, and they're definitely going to try to take it out in combat, so yeah, make sure you prepare with some ways to make sure that you can get 11 through. And there are plenty of ways to do so, and we'll go through them here in a bit. But first, let's talk about the other Secret Lair commander that has been revealed with Chief Jim Hopper. Chief Jim Hopper is a 4/4 human soldier with menace that costs 2 red-white. When Chief Jim Hopper attacks, investigate once for each non-token attacking creature, and again, Chief Jim Hopper has Friends Forever, which I'm never going to get used to. So obviously, since Chief Jim Hopper and 11 both have Friends Forever, they can partner together. And by doing so, you get access to 4 colors, again, every color but green. You're getting that extra white pip from Chief Jim Hopper. So essentially, Brea colors. Regardless, Chief Jim Hopper also wants to attack, but for a different reason. Because when he attacks, you investigate once for each non-token attacking creature. Basically, the more creatures that you attack with that are not tokens, the more times you investigate and the more clues you get. And unlike 11, Chief Jim Hopper actually has some form of evasion with menace, so that can help it get through. Of course, that's not always going to be perfect, and again, like I mentioned before, we've got other ways to get it through, and we'll talk about those here in a bit. Regardless, making a ton of clues can be a very useful thing, though it's not as powerful as 11's attack trigger, it can still be very helpful. And in fact, it actually can help you satisfy the requirement for 11's trigger, which again is some synergy between these two commanders. By attacking with a lot of creatures and making a lot of clues, well, you can sacrifice those clues before your next attack, and then, well, if you've got 10 cards in your hand, you attack with 11, get the 11th card, and there you go. Cast a spell for free. And actually, I'll talk about some more unique ways that you can actually utilize these clues that don't involve actually sacrificing them. So yeah, definitely an interesting partner combination, or again, a Friends Forever combination. I'm really hoping they call it something else. Anything else. You get access to 4 colors, and you're encouraged to attack with your creatures, and you're encouraged to have some pretty big and nasty spells in your deck that 11 can help you cast for free. So let's just go through some cards now that you might want to include if you're building a Friends Forever deck around these commanders, or again, around the Magic version of these cards that is going to be coming out in about 6 months or so. Of course, you're going to want plenty of draw spells in this deck because you want to get to that requirement for 11 pretty much as quickly as you can. So, mass draw spells at instant speed like Pull from Tomorrow and Stroke of Genius can be fantastic. Right before your turn, dump a lot of mana into these and then unexpectedly be able to get to 11 cards. Of course, a card like Overflowing Insight can really help out as well. It is a sorcery, but it says target player draws 7 cards, and again, this is one of those cards that you can, well, just cast for free with 11 if you already have 11 cards in your hand, and who doesn't need more cards? And speaking of casting things for free, though, of course you can also utilize some spells that are going to help you cast even more things for free. Amanatu's Augury says, exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield. Until end of turn for each non-land card type, you may cast a card of that type from among the exile cards without paying its mana cost. Basically, cast a ton of things for free. And get a land, because why not? And then Apex of Power says, exile the top 7 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among them. If this spell is cast from your hand, add 10 mana of any one color. So yeah, you're probably going to find something juicy to cast with this. Or of course, just cast one of the ultimatums with Brilliant Ultimatum. Its Oracle text reads, exile the top 5 cards of your library, and opponents separates those cards into 2 piles. You may play lands and cast spells from one of those piles. If you cast a spell this way, you cast it without paying its mana cost. Basically, it's kind of like a fact or fiction, but you cast the cards for free. Or with another ultimatum with Ruinous Ultimatum, just wipe your opponent's boards. It says destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. And keep in mind, with a mass board wipe like this that you can cast on your attack trigger, well, 11's gonna have a pretty easy time to get through when you can do something like this. Or there's always the good old Cruel Ultimatum, which does a lot of things, so here we go. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, and loses 3 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, and gain 5 life. And of course, outside of the ultimatums, there's always in Garruk's Wake, which is going to destroy all creatures and planeswalkers you don't control. Or, instead of destroying your opponent's things, why don't you just take them with something like Blatant Thievery? It says for each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls. So, yeah, take 3 of the best things on the board. Or, just do that and also take an extra turn with Expropriate, that lovely card. It says, starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it, exile Expropriate. And if you end up not getting 2 or more extra turns with Expropriate because your opponents made the right choice and took money, well, there's always Time Stretch, which is going to give you your 2 extra turns. But keep in mind, like my earlier comparison to Narset, extra combat spells can work really well as well with this kind of a deck. Relentless Assault is going to give you an extra combat. World of War is basically going to give you 2 because of Rebound, and Aurelia the War Leader can give you 1 on every single one of your attacks. Or I guess I should say 1 attack for each turn. But yeah, with sorceries like Relentless Assault and World at War, yeah, you can just cast those for free with your commander and get an extra combat, which again is going to let you swing out again to get more damage and then also get more tokens from clues and cast more spells. So yeah, these Friends Forever partner commanders can get really out of hand. Regardless, let's talk about the other half, the Chief Jim Hopper half, and what benefits we can get from those clue tokens we're going to be making. First up, with all the clues that you're going to be making, you can get an absurd amount of value with things like Shimmer Dragon and Academy Manufacturer. Shimmer Dragon says as long as you control 4 or more artifacts, Shimmer Dragon has hexproof, which is a very easy requirement to meet. And then by tapping 2 untapped artifacts you control, you draw a card. So now instead of actually having to sacrifice your clues, you can basically just utilize 2 of them to tap each of them and draw a card to help you get closer to that 11. And yeah, I guess on top of that, if you are really close to 11, you can just sacrifice the ones that you need to sacrifice to get there as well. And with each of those clues that you generate, you get even more value though, is something like Academy Manufacturer. Because it says if you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create 1 of each. So yeah, now you're getting 3 tokens instead of 1, and treasures of course can be especially valuable, giving you basically free mana. And speaking of free mana, let's talk about Clock of Omens and Blinkmoth Urn. Clock of Omens has tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, untap target artifact. So if you've got some mana rocks on the board, and this is especially effective if you've got ones that tap for more than 1 mana, you can utilize your clues to untap those for extra mana, basically for free again. And then Blinkmoth Urn says at the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, if it's untapped, that player adds colors for each artifact they control. Yes, this can help out your opponents as well, but it's probably going to help you the most, again, with the amount of clues that you can make with this kind of a deck. And also, again, if you've got something like Clock of Omens in play, you can actually tap this to deny your opponents from that mana. But now let's move on and talk about some utility cards that can help us out in this deck as well. First up, obviously cards like Shronic Resonator and Lithoform Engine can really help out in doubling up that triggered ability. And yeah, I guess when I say that triggered ability, I mean whichever one you want. Again, Chief Jim Hoppers is going to give you extra clues if you double that up, or, more likely you're going to double up 11s and cast an extra spell for free. Regardless, again, like I mentioned, you're going to need some ways to actually protect your creatures when they're attacking because, well, even though they are quite large for humans, being a 3/5 and a 4/4, they're still not really all that big compared to many things out there. So even some creatures like Frontline Medic, Stalwart, Pathfinder, and Angelic Guardian can help you out. Frontline Medic has Battalion. If it and at least 2 other creatures attack, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Stalwart Pathfinder has Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And Angelic Guardian just straight up says, whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack, they gain indestructible until end of turn. So yeah, no real requirement. Again, ensuring that you don't lose your commanders when they attack is probably pretty important for this kind of a deck. Or, again, if you've already got 11 cards and you just need attack with 11, you can just, throw a Whisper Soak Cloak on her, and now she's got Shroud and she can't be blocked. So, yeah, there's that. Regardless, obviously, there's a lot of ways to protect 11 and the rest of your team in combat, and yeah, 11 can actually just do that herself by just casting a, one-sided board wipe at instant speed during combat. Regardless, again, as I wrap up this episode, if, like me, you don't like seeing these mechanically unique secret lairs sold directly by wizards, please don't buy them. If you like these commanders and actually want to build around them, well, you can wait for the actual Magic versions to come out in 6 months and get them then. And hopefully then they won't actually say, Friends Forever on them or whatnot. Or, if you actually just want to play with them now, talk to your playgroup and proxy them. So there's always that option. Regardless, of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one.